here. If you talk about anybody who's dealing with motorcycles, anyone that's doing motorbike provisions for the young boys, we've taken the boys on more track days, we've got more bikes here, we've given them more practical work, we've signposted them to, to more college courses, to work apprenticeships than anyone else has. And these places are heavily funded. How did that even happen? Do you know what I'm saying to you? So we're here and we're doing what we're doing, innit? We're going to keep on doing it. That goes for motorcycles, that could go for music, that could go for anything. The only reason why we kind of shied away from that, because a lot of the things that the boys want to rap about, it's not beneficial to them. It's not beneficial to them, so we don't do that. If they wanted to sing, that would be a different scenario. But in the meantime, we ain't got no singers here, so we just stay with that. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
If you haven't been on road, then you don't know road. 11 years lost to the system, gun charges, friends lost to the knife. Walking with Giants founder Marlon Sampson is qualified to show the youth road is dead and give them a safe haven. Founder of Walking with Giants, Marlon Sampson. Talk to us. Obviously, you're doing this for the youth. You've been doing it for a year. There's no funding, there's no help. Why are you really doing this? What are you getting out of this?
Self-explanatory, you know, like you can see it in it. Like, man came up, there weren't nothing for man as far as no one weren't doing this for man when I came up in it. There were certain youth facilities out there, they closed down. I saw exactly how it went in it. Like, I don't know, it's nothing special about man. I just don't like waking up and seeing dead children on the news. I just don't like waking up and hearing youths talking about ending each other's life in it. And more so, I guess with age as well, and understanding and experience comes that I can see the trick. I can see the trick, I can see the mousetrap. I can see that they're just walking right into something that has been set up by somebody else. Do you know what I mean? And on top of that as well, I see the formula. I see the formula to get in there and break the cycle. So obviously there's no way I can lay back and know that and not get up and do something. It's just as real as that.
What exactly would the council have to sign, seal and deliver for you to get the perfect situation for them youths?
Perfect situation right now would be give us our agreement of tenancy. Tell us how much money it is that you want for rent. Far as I know, Andrew Brown's going to pay for that, leader of the BME. Obviously, as we're not here making any money off of what we're doing, it's not looked at that we're supposed to be the ones to pay for that. If it came to that, in the most ridiculous scenario they said it was going to come to that, we'll accept that. We'll find the money and pay for that. So give us a tenancy, turn around and tell us that we're legitimate to be here. We've got insurance, we've got youth safeguarding, we've got everything we're supposed to have as far as being in there anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I've worked in these environments before, so I know how things are supposed to be. And everything is as it's supposed to be.
Still on Christie Drive, still on the drive, right across from our youth project. This is another one, another empty property. Right now they're coming down on us saying that they need the property to convert it into a property for someone to live in. That's going to take over, what, roughly about 2 years to do. But right now, look, this has been vacant for 7 months. There ain't no one here. Keys all there. You see what's going on, like, it's empty. Empty, and it's getting fly tipped as well, so it's an eyesore. Kids are out here playing right here. This is all just going to get rat infested. Fox peeing all over it and that. Like, they really don't business. If they came round there, they would have seen this. They don't even come around there. Like, this isn't their concern at all. Like, how people are living around there, or the little youths having to come up and down and see all of this and that. They don't business about it. Like, their thing right now just seems to be shutting down another youth organisation, just shutting down another youth project on the block, because they know that the minute that's gone, these kids can just go anywhere and through that pipeline to prison. That's all it is. They're just there cementing that pipeline to prison, because right now this is a free bed. There's families out there right now, you've got whole families in hostels right now, in the basements of hotels and that, looking for somewhere. There's one right here, vacant. And on top of that as well, we know the family that was in there before, they were a clean, house proud family. So in there, there's not a whole heap of work to do, you know. There's no ripping out and gutting to do in there, no nothing. All they need to do is go in there, sweep it out, give the family their keys. This one's been empty for about, I don't know, maybe best part, maybe over a year. Get me? Like I said before as well, here, this is even worse because this one's been adapted for disability access and everything. If you see it as well, that's why the button's all low down here as well for wheelchairs and that. Like, some disabled person out here right now struggling wherever they're at. And again, this is just right here. Look through the window there. I don't know if you can even see. Look through the window there. Property's clean, man. Property's clean. There's no work to do there. There's no ripping and cutting out to do here. Property's clean. Number three again. You see it? Bam bam. No one's home. We know that. Keys air. Anyone can go through. Same old thing. So they want us out of the youth spot, but they got another one. This one's right across the road. Another one that's locked. Another one that's locked. Like, you know, like, it's actually ridiculous now, isn't it?
What do you feel about the youth club?
Well, I think it's just like a nice place to come, just chill out with people, meet new people, have fun and stuff like that.
Yeah, how do you react to the other kids that come down here?
I think we're all like a close bunch, and that we're very welcoming to others who come here, and that anyone who comes here will feel that they won't feel like we're pushing them out and that we don't want to be around them. They'll feel very welcome.
DARDEST TV in association with Block 5 Entertainment, and I'm here with Marlon Sampson from Walking with Giants. Youth, man, trying to help the youth see a better tomorrow. Obviously, we're doing something positive here today, so make sure you tune into this one and get it all. What's good, big man?
Everything's good. Everything's
Yeah?
good. Yeah. Big up to DARDEST TV, Block 5 Entertainment. Came through to help us put the thing out there. Keep doing what we're doing. It's appreciated.
No worries. So let them know, where are we today?
We're in CROYDON, South
Yeah?
Ward.
Okay, and what building are we in? What is it that's happening in this building?
It's Walking with Giants. This is a one-stop hub for the youth and the community.
You're the man in charge, you're the man who started this. From what I know, the project's a year old now, yeah?
That's right.
Alright then, so let us have some info into you. What are you? Where have you come from? What have you seen from the roads? What gives you the right to show the kids not to walk them?
I'm like a A to Z of do what I didn't do. I say my path started from school days, early days. First time I got a permanent exclusion, I was 4 years old. From then I went into what they would call now as a SEN school, special educational needs.
Yeah.
They said I was hyperactive, but the truth of the matter is I've never been hyperactive. I was just hard to handle for whatever reasons. They couldn't work on it, they couldn't detect what it was. So that's where they put me. It started from there. From then it was PRUs. From the PRUs, which is the out of education units, out of mainstream education. From there I done time where I was supposed to be on home tuition. In that space of time there was no home tuition, I was just at home. Then after that it was just being on the roads, from the roads to prison, and you already know the rest after that, you know that, bro.
Yeah, so tell us, how many years of your life have you sat in a prison cell?
I came home in 2011, and since then, alhamdulillah, I ain't been back to jail since then, but up until then, from 2000 when I first went to jail, till 2011, I spent 10 years and 5 months in jail. So that was almost 11 years out of 11 years.
So 11 years of your life you've sat in a jail cell, and then you've come out and you've decided that obviously you want to show the kids a better path. You don't want to see no kids sitting in jail like you had to.
You know what? That's where I'm at right now. That's where I've been at for a while. But I ain't gonna lie, I came out of jail just like everybody else, trying to regain old ground, trying to be who I thought I was before I went to the camp. And when you're in there sitting in your cell as well, you get exaggerated views of who you was before you went to jail in the first place. You forget all the broke days and whatnot. All you remember is your highlight reel. So when I came home, I was trying to get back to that. But over time, I could just see it for myself, say, this really wasn't it. It wasn't even a thing where my pull had weakened or that I just didn't have the opportunities I had no more. I could just see that, you know what, this really isn't it. Man's been sold a dream, and I see the youth's been sold a dream as well. And that little bit of morals that was left in me that started to grow and grow till it took over whatever greed or whatever else was there.
Okay, so let me ask you, a man who's been on the roads, been in jail, what do you think when you see somebody who's done neither of those and pretending in the public eye that they're trying to help the youths? Do you believe that if someone ain't lived it, someone ain't been in them blocks, around the guns, around the knives, around the drugs, live that life of if they're not getting money, they're a waste man? Do you believe someone who hasn't done that can show the youths how to get out of the roads and how to be something better?
They can aid. They can aid the people who really have lived it, but you need the people who have lived it. You need the grassroots. That's the term, everyone. You need those grassroots people. You need those people right there. On top of that, you need the man who's still in his cell now. There's men that are in jail right now, serving life sentences. They're not even going to get nothing out of it. Them people there ain't even going to get looked at for release until they've served at least another 25 years. But they're still willing to communicate with the young boys that are out there now, and they're not getting a look in. So it takes people who haven't lived it. Maybe they went and got a degree, they understand psychology, they understand abuse, they understand signs of abuse and domestic violence. Those people need to work hand in hand with those people that have lived it. But you can't take the people that have lived it out of the equation.
Yeah. Alright then, so no bullshit for the camera. I'm going to ask you, how do you feel now that you've come past the roads and you're doing a positive, you've opened this youth centre for the kids? Every time you look on social media, you pick up the paper, you turn on the news, and you hear that another young man has been stabbed or shot through the roads. How do you really feel in your heart when you see that?
It's nasty still. I feel disheartened. As a big man, I tell you, that's one of the few things out there that will make me sad, especially a young youth, because they really don't know, most of them don't know what they're walking into. They really don't know what they're walking into. And that's why a lot of the time you'll hear there's young boys out there, they're laying on the floor and they're crying for their mum, and they just don't know what's going on. They really don't until it gets to that point. And the truth of the matter is, like I always say, and anyone who's watching, if you know me, you're probably hoping I'm not going to say your name, I ain't going to, but at the same time, the orders out there are bombs. The orders are bombs. A lot of them never was. Or at the same time, even if you had done something back in the day, that at the same time you ain't done more than the L's you took. But the thing about it is that you're not letting these youths know that.
It's a mad time right now for the youth. Our kids are dying before they've even lived. They can't see past the edge of a knife. They need help, a safe place to go, to get to know other kids in their postcode, to see them as more than the enemy. Some people are really trying to help the kids have that, when like so many of us, they could just be sitting at home, safe with their children, walking with giants. Let's walk with them. What do you honestly see the future is for the kids out here, including your own, when they're growing up in these areas where it's rough? There's blocks, there's estates, there's people that are running them blocks and estates. How do you see the future for them?
It's dark, it's bleak out there for them. Even when I was in youth court, about 2 weeks ago with my son, he was in there for an 18-inch Rambo knife, zombie knife. I was in there listening to him, telling them, explaining to them why he was carrying it. He told them he was carrying it. He said, look, I went out here looking for no one, I just got it on me. He just said it like that. Now, I couldn't tell him not to say that because I wasn't going to tell him to lie. He got caught bang to rights with it. I was disappointed. I was disappointed in two things. One, that's where he was at after I've already been there. And on top of that as well, that's the situation that he was in. And on top of the fact that they caught him, on top of the fact that now he has to go through the whole youth justice system and whatnot, they're still not going to give him another avenue not to go down that road. And that's the same thing for the boys I work with. So I actually know it firsthand as well, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, well let's get into this youth club that we're sitting in now, that you built on your own. We want to know, what made you build this? What made you decide, let's do a youth club for the kids in this area?
Do you know what, I'll be honest with you, and I feel like I'm in my right to say it, because since say for instance one of the young boys that got killed around there, everyone that said they were going to do something, no one ain't done nothing. Like, the truth of the matter is, and anyone that knows me know, I don't even like to mention my team, but I'll be honest with you, I'm the only person that's done anything since then. I was on the tram about a year ago, and my thing's motorbikes. If you know me, I'm a motorbike man. I was on a tram about a year ago, and I was hearing two young boys arguing over someone's got their motorbike, someone's stolen it. Someone's stolen a motorbike that they've stolen. Then on top of that as well, I was getting calls from young youth saying, do I want to buy the bike? I said, nah, I don't want to buy the bike. I heard it belongs to the little young boys from around the ends. Just leave the bike parked up somewhere, let my man get his things back. Don't get into the politics. That's what my little bridging done. Long story short, by the time I got home, I was only in my house for about half an hour. I went in, I think I took off my clothes, I prayed. I got a phone call telling me that one of the two young boys I was on the tram with was dead over that same bike. Now the wickedest thing is that looking at that situation there, I can't look back and regret, because it's not every single situation that I jump in on. But this young boy in particular, I didn't get involved because of his family. I knew that they were pretty negative towards me. They didn't like the stuff that I do in the area. They don't like it when I get involved. It's kind of a thing of, who is he? Who does he think he is? They look at it like I'm trying to get clout. Like, it ain't that at all. Either way, I didn't bother to say that. I just left them to sort it out and said, boys will be boys. That's how that ended up. And I stopped and I said to myself, do you know what? These little boys really don't know what they're doing. That was like the eye-opener to say it wasn't even just that. It was the nine-night. It was the confusion. It was the boys on the other side who didn't even have a clue what they was doing. Family members, adults, are supposed to be making sense of it. They couldn't work out what they was doing. Till this day, I said, you know what? If I feel say I actually can see sense in the middle of this, then I have to do something. And from then it's a spin now.
Yeah. So let us know, how hard was it getting this up and running? And what have you personally put into it? What have you put in regards to time and money?
Well, even starting from today, going backwards, it's Sunday. I've got my two daughters over at my mum's house right now. I'm supposed to have them. Like, even me saying this now, my ex is probably going to see it and she's going to call me every name under the sun. I'm supposed to be with them right now. That's a regular occurrence. Like, on top of that as well, money-wise, I just put it all in. I've sold things. That it's not a thing where I was sitting on a pile of dough. I made it, I was up, and I said I'm going to put a little bit towards the youth. It ain't even like that. I've sold things in order to be able to keep on funding this. And when I get to the point where it's like to say, okay, how much further can I really go? I just start looking what else can go. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And the little youths ask me, and they turn around and say to me, why did you do all of this? I said, I'll be honest with you. I said, I've been on holidays. I've travelled. And I said, if I was sitting down right now in a penthouse somewhere, and all I'm doing is flicking on to see what's going on back in the end, and all I'm seeing is you lot dropping out, I'm not going to feel happy about where I'm at. So I'm here doing what I'm doing. So I left my full-time job about a year ago. And imagine it's been what? A year I've been out of work. So I've been getting by off of buying and selling my motorcycles and doing my thing. But that wasn't my first trade. That was my side thing. That was my hobby. I've had to make that my main money maker right now. And if a bike don't sell, then I'm stuck for a while. Do you get what I mean? And on top of that, I'm a single parent. I've got 2 children to actually fully maintain as well. Yeah. And I don't receive nothing for them. So it's been difficult, but at the same time, to me, it's worth it. But it's been a struggle still.
Yeah. So let us know about the community. Like, obviously, there's a community around here. People know you're doing this for the youth. They must do. It's been a year.
Oh, yeah.
Who's helping you in the community? Anybody coming through and saying, listen, here's a little something?
Nah, I'll be honest with you. You know that saying, who feels it knows?
Yeah.
The realest people out here, they ain't got nothing. That's just how it seems to just work world over. The realest people out there, they ain't got nothing. And certain time, some people were real until they got a little something, and then they changed up. So I'll be honest, there's 2 women. 2 women. Out of all of the men that are out there stunting and X, Y, and Z and spending money or splashing money or whatever, there's 2 women. And the both of them, they ain't got it. But they give what they could. And what they gave, in the sense of what they gave, was one of them gave their time to come through and help out and volunteer and stuff like that and do stuff with the boys who I could see was lacking that, I don't know, a woman in their life as well.
Yeah.
Those women came through and would do that. At the same time as well, I got a neighbour. When we first came through, we had a smart TV for the boys and that, and she gave us her Wi-Fi. And even when the boys used to come through, the place was empty. And all we had in there was just her Wi-Fi. So they would come through, go on their phones. I knew they wasn't outside. Got the smart TV, got the Netflix account and so on. And it was all through her Wi-Fi and that. until money came through and I was able to get our things set up and whatnot.
Yeah.
But she's been there. She's always let me know. More important than even any of that was her encouragement. Was her just seeing me and saying, "Bro, Marlon, do what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing."
Yeah.
And her even knowing how I came in and giving me that smile as if to say, "Don't let no one tell you that what you did was wrong."
Yeah. How do you feel about the youth club?
I feel like this youth club needs to be here. It needs to be on the estate. There's nothing else in South Norwood. They've closed down everything. Samuel's. I used to live in South Norwood. Used to live just around the corner, and grew up going to Samuel's. So youth clubs are needed, and especially like with what's happening, it's kind of created a big disconnect. So that's what it means to me. It needs to be here for the kids. They need it. They're out there doing their thing. They need it, man.
Let me ask you, if I'm a youth from this area and I've heard about your youth centre, how many days a week are you open for me?
7 days a week.
Yeah?
I'm here 7 days a week.
Okay, and what's the hours for them 7 days a week?
Usually man's here from 10 o'clock till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, so you give them a full day.
Full day, 10 o'clock till 10 o'clock. And the reality of it is if anyone that says that's too late, well then I'm going to give you a round of applause and say you done well, that you can get your child in at those times.
Yeah.
But there's some kids that ain't going home at 10 o'clock. They're not even going home at 1 o'clock. Do you get what I mean? But at least I know if they come through here by 8 and 9, I'm sending them home from here. And if I send them home and they tell me they're going home, I know they're going home. If they ain't going home, they're going to turn around and say to me, I've got somewhere else I need to go. Then I'm going to go home. But they ain't going to lie to me.
Yeah. So let us know, in the year you've been open, how many youths can you honestly say have come through your community centre?
I've come through, I've been here on one particular day.
No, like come through and regularly have come through.
In the space of a year, I would say I'll do it both ways. On one particular day, I could say the most that we've had in here is about 30.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to manage. So there's been some older guys in here as well, and they've been managing it and whatnot. And even me, I'm looking back and saying, whoa, is this too much? 'Cause at the same time as well, I'm a different generation from them, so the noise and whatnot as well, like, it can start to get to me, but it's been 30, and then outside of that, I'd say on a regular, we're looking at about 12 boys a day, 8 to 12 boys a day.
Yeah.
And another thing as well is that when I speak to counsellors and that now, and we come into contact with each other, one thing they ask me about often is numbers. It's like they want me to say that I've worked with 40 boys a day. Now the thing about it is I'm down for that. I've got a structure for that. I've even got the volunteer network for that as well. But at the same time as well, you got to understand is that other organisations that work with that many boys, if they actually do, they get sent to them from the magistrates court. They get sent to them from a yacht. They get sent. There's no boy that passes through here that doesn't engage because it's real life. Because it's real life. I remember I was at a probation meeting with a boy and he said to me, right, Marlon, I feel like punching you in the face. I said, don't do that. He said it to me because he was with his probation officer and he just felt like, I'm going to test the boundaries. He said, I feel like punching you in your face. I said, don't worry, the feeling will pass, but don't do it. He said, I'm going to punch you in your face. He said, the only thing I'm thinking right now is that you're going to hit me back. I said, brother, believe in that feeling and don't do it, innit? And I didn't tell him that because I wanted to threaten him. I tell these boys this is real life. It doesn't make sense me bringing you in there and teaching you about stuff that doesn't exist where you go. When I've had discussions, like I say, disagreements with other people who say they're running youth centres, I say, alright then, cool. You see this crew, that crew, the ones that are in jail, how many of them do you know? They fall right into it and they turn around and say to me, I know all them, man. I know all them, man. The one that got arrested for the stabbing, the one that done this, the one that done that. I know all of them. I said, you work with them? I said, I work with all of them. I said, why are they all in jail though? Like, I'm not blaming you for it, but I'm saying, and you're still running the same system. You're still running the same program. You ain't tweaked it. You ain't changed it. You ain't tried to broaden it. No, nothing. Like, because clearly it's not working.
Yeah. So tell us now, if your youth centre wasn't it, what else is there in this area for the kids to go to?
Nothing. There's nothing else in the area. The only thing there is there's nothing. There's something which is due to open soon.
Yeah.
And there's organisations, there's youths from all over. This is down in Whitehorse.
Yeah.
There's youths from all over that are saying, I'm not going there because it's a next man's ends. I'm not going there. So I guess in some ways the council would want to put in people like me to say, okay, then you come and work in there because the youths know you and they trust you. So bring them to work. I said, I'm not going to do that. And they said, why? I said, because the last time I spoke to you guys, one of your major concerns is you say to me, you're working with these hard to reach boys on occasions. They said, but you need to consider the fact that if someone tries to attack them, you could get hurt. I said, I always consider that. They said, if someone tries to attack them who you don't know, how are you going to protect yourself? I said, I don't protect myself to say I'm going to protect them. I'm out of somebody's child.
Yeah.
Like, don't sign up for it if you're not going to follow it through. Innit? Why am I going to run and leave somebody's child for? This don't make no sense. Then, outside of that, child knowing that that's my position, how are they going to respect me? How are they going to trust me? How are they going to take for me? It don't make any sense. But back to your question, there is nowhere else for them to go. That's the realest thing. Unless it's one of the families out there that have got the money to maybe send them to places like kickboxing and stuff like that might be an area. That's like a whole £70 a month. Do you get what I mean? On top of whatever else it is that they're spending or not having available. Then on top of that as well, they're not going to be there with their friends. They're not going to be there with their peer group. And I'll be honest with you, it don't matter how good a mentor you are, how good a facilitator you are, what you say doesn't carry as much weight as a young boy's friends. It doesn't. It really don't. So when you can get them to be able to engage in something positive with their peer group as well, you're onto something.
Yeah. So just so we've got it clear in all of our minds, anybody watching this, anyone who feels that they should show some help to you, if this wasn't here for the last year, all the kids that have come through here and found something positive to do while they've been here could have been running around the roads doing who knows what, because there was nowhere for them to come that was a decent thing.
That's for sure. A lot of the boys, or some of them that have come through here, that's what they was in the middle of when I pulled them in. That's what they was in the middle of, and I could see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then at the same time as well, I don't overlook the boys who ain't doing it. Because there's a lot of money, like I say, like you say, you need to know it. When you know it, you understand. There's certain people that only bust at like, I don't know, 16, 17, and people are saying, "Raw, why is my man even on the road for? He wasn't bad before." Yeah, but something's changed now. Whatever it was that's changed now, that's where he's at now, and he's not going back. That happens too. So I see a lot of organisations, they do two things. They'll either sleep on the boys who ain't getting into problems, because it's not really gonna boss you to say that I worked with this boy, because he wasn't in any problems anyway. People are looking for that thing that's gonna be the turnaround story that's gonna make them look great. Yeah. And then at the same time as well, some of the boys who are really active, they don't want to go near them. Yeah. So it's like they're looking for that in-between case. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what it is though. There isn't nothing to do. Round here right now, if anyone knows the drive, then they know it to be that place that was known for bikes, known for riding. You know what I mean? And the reason being is that it's probably the only place in the ends that's got so many twists and turns and a lot of exits if you're on a motorcycle. So the police come around there, they'll chase a boy onto the drive on a motorcycle and they just make themselves look stupid. Yeah. And sometimes I sit out there looking at the police and think, you might as well just go back to the station, because what you're doing now is you're just making yourself look stupid. Man are running rings around you. I've seen boys double back, sit down, wait for the police to come back, then ride off again. But my issue was that the little kids are sitting there watching this, and they will aspire to this. The next time they hear that there's a bike that's just been left or dumped, if they can get that thing going, they're going to jump on it. Do you see it? And it starts from there.
Obviously, this is something that is going around in relation to the whole of London. They've started closing down a lot more youth work provisions, and I feel like they're not giving a resolution to, okay, if you are closing all the youth centres down, what are you providing? What else are you providing for the youth? And the way in which they've decided to close down this provision in particular, there's been no type of warning. There was no notice served first. We've just been literally told, well, actually, no, you just have to leave. We've even had problems with telling the young people, because we don't want them to obviously take it in a negative way. So even in relation to letting them know, it's been quite hard to have to express that to them.
The mums, the dads of the kids that come in, like, what connection have you had from them? They must be giving you a round of applause. You've got kids coming here that would be roaming the streets doing who knows what for a whole year. What do the mums and dads say to you? What do they want to do to help?
The mums, they say thanks. The dads, to be honest with you, most of the dads ain't there. To be honest with you, I know of maybe all the boys that come through it, I think only 2 of them live with their dad. And their situation is peak because I've been there before. Because even though they live with their dad's working so many hours, it's like he's not there. When I see them, I even get messages. Usually I get messages like through my people, and they'll say so and so's mum or so and so's dad said say right, they said really say big up, say thanks and whatnot. Like they're really good. Usually with some of the dads, to be honest with you, who don't live with their children, but they know that their boys coming, they say thanks because for whatever reasons, maybe they're not able to be around their sons like that. But to know they're here, to know what they're doing, to know that people are saying, yeah, I saw your son. He came down to, for instance, the youth domino team where a lot of the big men are, and they see a man's son coming through there and whatnot, and he's carrying himself a certain way. He's saying thanks for that.
Yeah.
There's appreciation. There's a lot of appreciation. Like I never doubted for a minute that there was gonna be support for what was going on.
Yeah.
But to be honest, there's been a lot more support than I expected. Even from like outside of just around here as well, the residents as well, just in general, there's been a lot of support through the people who are trying. But then at the same time, those are the people who ain't often heard though. I hear them because they send me messages saying thanks and whatnot. But when they speak, it's like, oh no, like you know my situation now where they want us out of the building, it's like those voices ain't been heard. No one's even asking about those voices right now.
Yeah.
People are just in offices trying to make their own minds up about other people's lives.
Yeah. Okay, let's get on to the kids again. When they're here, we know they're here. You've kept it going for a year. You've kept the kids entertained. What is there for the kids when they come in? What are they doing? What activities are there for the kids to get into? Let us know, what's the youth club done for you?
And it's done a lot, like really, that I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. There's just so much that I haven't done, like so much bad things I haven't gotten into because of the youth club, like just because it's been here, you know what I'm saying?
And what was your life like outside before the youth club started giving you out?
Like really, it's a fuck you, like stupidness, getting up to rubbish, foolishness, like trouble with the police, like for banter. Like stupid things, just cause there was nothing else to do. Right now I got a 9-month yacht order for possession of an offensive weapon in a public place.
And what do you feel when you look back on that now? You know you got this place to come to and you're meeting new kids, you're getting on with them, you're doing good in your life.
I feel stupid really, like, because if I'd known about this place from before any of that, that would never have happened.
Yeah. So how do you feel knowing that they want to stop this, they want to close the doors on you?
Let down really, because like when you see all the knife crime and the people dying and the things like that, and then you see people talking about, yeah, we're gonna start doing this and that, and it's all lies, it's all fake, because you see this realness going on right here and they want to shut it down.
Right now you're inside of the youth project, walking with giants. Two of the young boys here right now, Romeo, Joel. Obviously one of the main things that we do here, aside from having the boys off the road, keeping out of trouble, it's looking for that talent, looking for something or what it is that the boys are interested in, something they can take further, something they can benefit from. Joel, he started out taking a lot of the pictures for us when we first started. So a lot of what you see on our Insta, anything media wise that you see, Joel done it. So because we know that that's his thing, so that we try and expand on that. So the Macs are here, sometimes they'll come in and they'll use these brand of computers because on this we've got the software here, we've got the Final Cut Pro, and we're waiting to install on top of that as well is the Adobe Lightroom, stuff like that. You'll see on our Instagram the camera pack that we bought as well, that was through Joel as well, we got it for him, so they'd be able to do that. Romeo is his music and that as well, we put it up on there, we'll edit it as well. So this is the office. In there we use it for one-to-one meetings. Boys can come talk to us in private, let us know what's going on and whatnot. Outside here, this is the workshop area. We'll do the repairs and maintenance on the bikes that we take to the track, the CRF 85. We've got 2 more of those coming as well. We've got 2 more of those bought. Right now you'll see it on the Insta as well. So they're getting built ready for the summer so they can come out on the track. This is the Stomp 140. This is what most of the boys learn on. This bike's legendary for us. This bike won't go nowhere. This is the bike that we had when we first started, and we never had no roof. All we had was this bike, and that was it. Was just out here. This is just a little project. Probably gonna sell this one on. Use the money to put back into the project. This is the CBR 900 RR5 blade, for those that remember. This bike's getting a full restoration, and after that we're going to put it up for sale, put the money back into the project again. This is the area where the boys can go in there, get the tools to do light maintenance. The yellow toolbox, the boys know, is the one that they use. The black toolbox is the ones that we use. This machinery is for us to use. They watch how we demonstrate how that goes. This is the computer area. As I mentioned before, this is where the towers are coming in, the tower slots right there. They've already been ordered. Right now the programs are getting put into them. Big up Mo's Laptops Clinic. He's waiting on us right there. He knows what we're going through right now with the project, and he knows what's happening and trying to get us out of the building. He gave us the time to just smooth all of that over, get that bike sold, because what it's done is it slowed us up, been able to work on that and get it sold. So we're not even taking no more time out for that. That bike's going. We're going to purchase those are going to be back in there. Then we can start running things like online courses and that. Cause a lot of the boys that we get coming in now, come in during the core day, when they're either been permed from school, or even worse than that is when they're on permanent exclusion from an alternative provision, which means you ain't going back into education. That can happen in year 9. And from year 9 till college ages, it's likely you're never going to be in education again. That's a bad look. So that's what we're prepared for down there now. Keep walking with us. This is the downstairs toilet with the disabled facilities there. Upstairs, this is the chill out area. This is where the boys can chill out. Time to actually relax. If they got food, this is where they'll normally eat it. Downtime, could be we either came back from the track, if we made it back early, if they've already done something downstairs and they just want to relax with it. Or sometimes boys take it as a time out, they just let it be known I've gone upstairs, so we know they ain't outside the building, so I'm going upstairs to sit down. For boys up here for a little bit, sometimes boys will come up here for a while and sit down on purpose because they want you to know something's up. They take themselves away from the group. It's a nice place to come, engage with them. It looks normal. Sometimes the boy will come up here and sit down and it looks like he's just come up here to chill, and I'll come through and make it look like I've come up here to make a coffee, but really it's that he wanted me to come and talk to him, or someone to come and talk to him. But at the same time, I didn't want to make it look like you really needed talking to, so it's beneficial the way it's set up like that as well, so I can engage with them in a way that suits them and is effective for us as well.
What's this on the wall? What's going on with that?
This here?
Yeah.
This is Walking with Giants. This is from my boy Avon. He came in and done that for us from early. This was like the first thing that we had to state our claim here, you know, like that car. This was known to be the homework building from back in the day when Andrew Brown and Amphi and that was in there, and the boys knew it was the homework club. So every time we come in here, they used to call it the homework club.
Yeah.
But it brought back bad memories for some of the boys, because even when I came in there, some of them was finding their old work and they were just sitting down thinking like they got done dirty, how them guys was here and then they disappeared. And that's just real talk. Like the whole estate felt like that. Like raw, they were just here and then they just disappeared. So we said, alright, cool. I wanted to personalize the place for the boys. We put the walk in, they said it. They said they chose what they wanted up there. They chose the colours and whatnot. At first it was Giants Youth Services, and we gave it some thought. And I thought to myself, do you know what? When the boys are asked where you going, who you riding with, like who did you go track with, and they say Giants Youth Services, just makes it sound like you're part of another program. Do you know what I mean? So they named it Walking with Giants. Was supposed to be the name of a project, but instead we just called it Walking with Giants. Nowadays the boys ask me, they say, who's the Giants? Now the maddest thing about that is the Giants were supposed to be some of the celebrity people that we mentioned earlier. I wanted them to be the Giants and for the youths to get the opportunity to walk with it. Nowadays I just tell them, you're the Giants. You know, like that, I'm walking with you in it, like you're the Giants. So that's that area there. Toilets. Retro gaming. I mean, we've done it over at the Domino Club. We moved some stuff out for them, and this was the boys was gassed about it, so we brought this back over and we get a booth for it. This is probably one of the most important areas inside of this place. It's the little kitchenette area. So it's the weekends. Obviously, right now ain't even stocked up like that, but there's still noodles, mackerels, rice, and stuff. We always make sure there's something there, cereal, whatever. There's always something there for the boys to eat. Some of them are coming straight from school. first question they're asking is what's there to eat. So if there's nothing there, then we order something. But I realise it's more cost effective now as well, but just to make sure that there's always food there.
We take them off-site as well over to the Sting ABC, so that they're able to go over there now to kind of further with the boxing as well, the disciplines of it, the achievement side of it as well. If they really want to go down that road, the self-confidence, the protection, the awareness of others and whatnot. At the same time, being able to mix with other people as well. They take a lot from it, so they do that. We take them to the track as well. So we've got our own van as well, 7-seater and a transit van. So we've got like one quad, two running dirt bikes, 2 more getting built right now. So we've got a set, and we've got bikes that get brought along as well. We take them to the track on the weekends.
Yeah.
Outside of that as well, you see the computers down there now as well.
Yeah.
They're getting set up right now. They're just getting the programs put in the towers to be able to run some online courses about stuff like road safety as well, when it comes to riding scooters and that advanced rider awareness. Little things like looking in a man's windscreen when you're riding to make sure that the guy's not on the phone. Simple things like that. So we're doing that. We've got a link with Bromley College. We've brought at least 3 boys over there who've signed up to Bromley College now. Those are boys that were out of school for years. My son was one of them. He was out of school for years, and the parents were under the misconception that you can't go to college if you ain't got no GCSEs. It's a myth. And I'm glad that I'm actually able to tell as many people as I am right now, it's a myth. You might not get to do the course you want to do, you can still go to college. So we've got links with Bromley College, and because we teach them over here the workings of a motorcycle engine, we teach them about the maintenance of a motorcycle, especially when they go to try and get themselves onto a mechanics course. It helps a lot that they've got that understanding of what, and we actually document their work. We've actually got their workbooks and stuff like that, so they can bring that over there with them. Even though we can't give them a certificate, we can still show what they've done.
Yeah.
And we can vouch for them.
Okay.
On top of that as well, we'll do stuff like we'll call up to find out what available work is out there for them. We'll do mediation. I've been to people's doors. I've had to knock on young boys' doors and come through and mediate. Like it's always a tricky one when you turn up at someone's door. Usually the parents, because you don't know what they're gonna say. Like if you're not wearing a uniform and you ain't got a badge, they're gonna ask, "Why are you at my door?" Like, what's your angle? But it's been good. It's been good. Even one of my young boys now, who's here today, even him, he had an ongoing dispute. It got serious. When I went and we went and deaded it, and we went on and spoke to the parents, spoke to the boy's brother. He came through. He wasn't really in the talking. I didn't really need to talk to him or at him. I just wanted the message to just be around him, to know everything's cool, it's alright. You don't need to go down that road. It ain't even like that. And then we'll just see if that settles in and how it goes. Now that both of them go through together, both of them are fine. It's like they just wanted that person to step in and say, just forget it.
Yeah.
Just forget it.
So what do you feel when you see the kids are happy here? They're doing a lot of good stuff. They could be out on the roads where there's guns and knives, and all that good work could come to an end. What does that do to you?
That's kind of scary. It's scary to know that they're not going to have anywhere locally to go. When I was younger, we had the Soccer Cheetah Centre, but that's no longer a youth centre. There's nothing locally. They won't have anywhere to go. They're going to end up back on the streets. As you can see, it's a Saturday. We've got youth outside. There's youth upstairs. They're all doing their own thing. And I think it's just going to be devastating for them. And me as a parent as well. My son's here. And I've got a son that I've already had some issues with. So for him to be able to come here is a vital space for him to be able to learn to build relationships with others, work as part of a team, and learn skills at the same time.
Let's get on to the kids and the changes in them. Obviously, knowing them for a year is a long time.
Yeah.
We all know when we first meet someone, we're not the same as once we know them.
Yeah.
So what changes have you seen in the kids that have come along and you've helped for the last year?
I've seen kids come through this door, and I see it all the time now. Now I just wait for it, I expect it. I've seen kids come through this door acting like men, and then within a short space of time I've seen them acting like children. You know, back to being children again.
Yeah.
But then at the same time being able to teach them foundation stuff, responsible stuff, so they've actually got solid foundations, solid roots. But then at the same time as well, they've got that comfortability to actually still have a childhood You get what I'm saying? Some of them like cartoons. The first thing that when they come through, they want to put on the screen, if there's a group of them, they want to see if they can go to put the drill music on, and see if they can go to put on something which is aggressive, something that's violent. Tell them, don't do that around here. Like, if you're going to put the music on, it's going to be R&B or reggae, otherwise just leave it alone, innit? So a lot of them were like, that's dead. Give them about a few weeks, and they're watching cartoons. Usually they're into the manga series. They're on it, and that's what they was into before they came through. But once they let the guards down, once they get more comfortable, they start to share those things with each other. So I see kids acting like kids.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into if there was more help. If you had more finances, more help from people, what more would you want to do for the kids? What more would you bring to the table?
So much more. Right now, there's boys that want to come down from Lambeth. They're going to be coming down regardless. So there's guys that I network with over there. There'll be certain boys, but I would have done it as a joint program. So some of them could come down to give them the opportunity to be out of their area and let their guard down. Not to come to a new place and take advantage of the situation, but at the same time to come down, know that you're given an opportunity and be able to just know that this space is yours, isn't it? You know, like my castle, your castle, like come in and actually like relax and benefit from it. So it was those programs. The prison program was for the boys to be able to go over and actually meet with prisoners. Not no scared straight thing where they get shouted at by guys who are pretending they're gonna harm them. Nothing like that. We're talking about going and actually sitting down and talking to a man who was important. Not 20 years ago, he was important 9 months ago before he just held his 25-year sentence. And now he's not important. Now he'd be fortunate if someone answers the phone to him when he's calling, to meet those people, to understand it. Like, that is necessary. Because right now, no one ain't got control over all the stuff that's put out on Snapchat and Instagram of man videoing the fact that they got 100 packets of biscuits in their prison cell, and kids are thinking, right, it's pattern. I see a man in jail, he's got a rug, he's got a PlayStation, it's alright, it's nothing. Like, you need to really be able to get in there and smell prison. Know what it smells like. I told them it smells like stale clothes, it smells like bin, and it smells like balls. That's what prison smells like, because you don't get to choose who you're in there with. And most of you, you're going to go in with cellmates as well. And that's a different scenario, completely different thing. Just knowing, like, you can't know it until you're in there. You can't know it until you're locked in a room with a man and knowing, you know what, even down to little things like using the toilet, passing wind, those things. You won't realise how much a human being passes wind until you're locked inside with another one, and you realise how often this guy is. These are things you've got to live with. So stuff like that, we would have been running that, we would have continued, we would have expanded more on the stuff we do at the colleges. Because our main thing is it's engagement, it's giving the boys something to do, and it's opportunities. That's the key thing, is opportunities.
Yeah.
Because even if, my thing is that if a boy stays with us for 2-3 years, gets into his late teens, I've got confidence he's going to be cool while he's with us. But I want him to go on and be able to do something outside of that as well. Yeah. Not the fact that he was around walking with giants, he kept out of trouble, he kept safe, and now he's just like everybody else, just queuing up to see what life has to offer. He's trying to actually set them up so they've actually got something to go to. Yeah.
I've recently got some towers in and some screens in order to be able to open it up to the community, to allow them to be able to come and access the internet and basically just come and be able to have a chat, which some of the people from the estate probably don't get to have. We're going to be covering issues such as challenging behaviours that parents may have with their teens. We're basically trying to create almost like an advice forum as well, where parents can come and have that conversation. So yeah, you know, in relation to the stuff that we are doing, I just feel like, yeah, we're almost stuck with it now, because we've got nowhere else to go.
If I'm watching this and I'm saying, you know what, I like what you're doing, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I want to help you.
Yeah.
How does somebody help you? How do they get hold of you? And what help would you want from people that are willing to show?
Contact is walkingwithgiants247@gmail.com. On top of that, you can go onto the Walking with Giants Instagram or Giants Youth Services Instagram. Outside of that as well, I would say to help us is to email CROYDON Optivo. Let them know about the building. Let them know about Walking with Giants, the building that they currently want us out of. let them know how important it is for the boys to be here. And on top of that as well, if you've got services that you offer to connect with us and see what we can expand on. If you're somebody who, for instance, you might be inside of a college, you might run workshops, you might run stuff which can benefit the boys, but I'll be honest with you, if you're just a box ticker, if you're just somebody that collected some funding and now you're trying to tick the boxes to basically say you've worked with somebody, don't contact me. I get people like you all the time. And it's like, Marlon's got 20 boys down there. Marlon can get 10 boys. Marlon could put in 50 boys if he really wanted to. I need these numbers because I've gotten money from Prince's Trust or wherever it is to say I'm doing this work. I need numbers. Don't contact me, man. Seriously, because I'm going to apply you. And I might waste your time on purpose as well. I might bring you to that point when you just about need these numbers in. I'll do that to you. I will, because I've been through the system myself. I've been there as a young boy with these fake organisations coming and calling on me to come and speak at their presentations and stuff like that. And I couldn't see them when I needed them. When my mum was sick and she was crying out for them to come and get me back into school, they weren't there. So I'm saying, seriously, don't bother to contact me if that's your angle.
You see, like you see these young men here, yeah, right? They're all around with each other. And they can't do the kind of things to each other that maybe they can do out there, you know what I mean, like unsupervised. But they can do things in here that's not like, you know, like I say, you're not going to come and read books if the school's finished. You're not going to come and just sit down and just do more homework. There's a time for that. You want to come and do things that's like, you know, it's interesting, it's fun, and even if it's a little bit naughty, but it's not illegal. You want to be able to socialise in a way where, you know, yeah, you want to come and just punch a bag for a bit, and you want to come and strip down a motorbike and learn to do something. Yeah, it's fun stuff, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. So what are you going to do? You're going to just let them use just, you know, like just let them just drop by the wayside because they don't want to conform. They don't want to just be like how you say they should be. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just being failed. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Like you can put a studio up and they can rap, and they can rap about what? More violence, more stuff that's not productive because they're not doing nothing productive. You know what I mean? Like it's a sad story to tell, and it's just the way it is, and it's disgusting. And the thing is, here, right, you see other people going out of their way here, right, and being like vigilantes, collecting knives, going out there finding knives, and then I mean actually taking them from places where they're hidden, and then, you know what I mean, trying to talk to the youths and that. But you don't see the powers that be doing it themselves, and you don't see the powers that be helping those individuals to do what they need to do. But they're the most proactive ones. They're the ones that the youths listen to. They're the ones that they actually will engage with.
Let's get into the local authorities and the dealings that you're having with them. Obviously, you've got this youth centre. Anyone who sees clearly would know that this is a good look.
Yeah.
And it should stay, and it should only get bigger. What are the local authorities saying to you, and what are the local authorities doing when you're not there?
Local authorities are saying, but what do you mean by doing when I'm not there?
Like, what is their angle? What are they really trying to do? Are they trying to get you out of it ASAP?
Oh.
You see what I mean? When they know that what you're doing is only positive.
What they're doing, their angle right now is come out of the building. The reason being is two things. Is that one, they're saying is that we've got plans to turn it into a residential property. And the bad thing about that is that this building's never been a residential property. This building's always been a community centre. All that's happened is there's been big blank spots between the people who have come in there, put on projects, their funding's run out, or they've misspent the money, mismanaged the money, and then they've disappeared. So that's what's happened. It's always been a community centre outside of that.
Yeah.
The building was closed for 4 years. Young boys were storing stolen motorbikes in the garden because there was some overgrown trees and that they could hide them in there. Then that progressed to breaking into the building and setting up shop to grow cannabis, trying to get young boys to run it for them, and me hearing about this and shutting it down. Now, the position of the local authorities is that you need to come out because you didn't give you permission to be there. Even though we had to come in and clear out all of that, we had to lock the place. We had to be working with the boys in the area regarding being safe in the area, peer pressure, and all of the things that the building was set up for. I met the council, and the council knew where we was based, and I only met them because they was trying to close down another building that we was currently using 1 day a week. So because they were trying to get everyone who was using the building to stop using it, so that they could just shut it down. What they did was they offered us days somewhere else. Now, I said to the guys at the building, I'm going to stick with you, man. I ain't going to take the days somewhere else. He said, it's better for you because we might not win this one. Take the days while they're offering it. Take the other building while they're offering it. And strike while the opportunity's there. I said, all right, this is coming from you. I'm going to make that move for the sake of the young boys. When I went there, they barred us. So it was back to just being out there. And when I say out there, I'm talking literally, the boys would link up with me at my car in the morning through the 6-week holidays. They'd sit in my car, hook up to the Wi-Fi outside of my house, be jamming inside the car on their phones, and when I brought out one of the motorbikes, if it needed maintaining or working on, they'll work on it with me. That's how they were learning about them. We'll take it down to the field and we'll ride it down there. Now the position of the local authorities is that we shouldn't be here. That's like regardless of anything else we've done, regardless of all of the intervention stuff. Like I go over to other ends that have got problems with boys over here, and I work it out. I work it out with them. On top of that as well, there's boys from other areas now that feel that comfortable with what I've said to them or my reassurances that they want to come over here now and take part in what's going on. There's boys from other areas that are sitting down in their yard on Instagram looking at the stuff that I'm posting or looking at the stuff that the young boys who come through are posting and saying, right, can I come through? They're not even embarrassed to ask no more. In the beginning, I thought they were thinking, well, I'm not going to beg you, them man from over there. And I let them know, listen, I'm based here, but I'm for all of the youths, yeah.
The kind of youth that come here that are interested in these kind of things here, right? Those are the ones who will probably end up out there on the street, riding a stolen motorbike, selling drugs, and like just fighting. Those are the ones that will probably end up in jail. So if you don't support places like this, really and truly, what are you doing? You know what I mean? If people don't support places like this, then there's nothing left for them. Because what else has worked? I mean, this needs to happen. This needs to be on a larger scale. And just little ones of these in different communities, and then maybe they compete with each other. Like they have a little kind of like tournament every now and then, and they like say like, well, okay, then cool. Who can strip down a bike the quickest, or who can do stunts and tricks on a bike in a controlled environment? Obviously, who can do that the best? This needs to be something which is actually funded and supported on a large scale. It needs to happen.
Let's get onto your Instagram, Giant Youth Service. Obviously, that's how you set to show people this problem's happening.
That's it.
You've put up a video. You've tagged a lot of names in it. Obviously, this time round, I'm not going to bait up their names. But a lot of their names have got big following. And they've got a voice. They can help. I'm asking you, so far, from your video on the Instagram, with those names tagged in, who has got at you to say they'd like to help?
So if you go and check the video, you're going to know who didn't. You're going to know who it was who didn't get back at me. First and foremost, the Artist TV shouted me, said, what can I do? Like that.
Nothing.
I'm not going to lie. I thought everyone was, on that one day, I thought everyone was going to, do you know what I'm saying to you? That I really thought that it's for the youths, innit? I thought everybody was going to say the same thing. But nah, to be honest with you, there's Mac from, Mactivate from Bike Storms. Like, big up to him. I'm telling you that, big up to him. He's doing a lot. He's a busy guy, and he's still on his gram. And he was just, he followed me back. He was talking. He's like, yeah, I'm coming down. I'm there. Like, there was Mac. There's you. There's Marky from Team Raw. Like, he's a person where he'll shout me all the time and say, I got some young boys over in my area. I want them to come through. Like, listen, these little youths ain't doing nothing sensible. Please come over here and grab them. Like, there's him. And outside of that, there's nobody else. There's nobody else that anyone else, you can see it for yourself. When go onto my videos and you'll see who it is who comments and likes and stuff. So if you see organizations, like for instance, there's people like Another Night of Sisterhood, and then there's people who work with them as well. For instance, like there's Cheryl Shaw. She's doing her thing as well. So if you check her on Instagram, look on her Facebook as well. I can't remember what her account is, but look up Cheryl Shaw and so on. Each one teach one. Look them up. I work with them. So to be honest with you, where I'm working with them, then this is us anyway. we are walking with giants in a sense. So I'm thinking, anyone outside of that, back to what you said, no one ain't collared back. Like it's not even just the rappers, it's the comedians, it's all of them people who make their living off of the black community, off of the black youths, the same youths that are out here dying. Like some of the youths that are out here dying, you was probably their favourite rapper. You was probably one of their older brother's favourite rapper, and they got a certain respect for you. And I tell them the real. I told you, I give these youths rules, and it don't just work for here, it goes outside of here. I said, don't go to the shop for no one who you don't want to go to the shop for. So if they ask me, Marlon, you want something at the shop, it's because they want to go to the shop. I tell you, you ain't even got to go to the shop for me. If I ask you, you say you're going to go to the shop, you're going to go to the shop. But all these older boys don't go to the shop for them because they don't give a fuck. You get it? On top of that as well, these rappers and what, I tell them, don't respect them because they couldn't give a fuck. Like, for instance, when I'm getting these stupid messages back saying stuff like, yeah, I'm a little busy right now, and X, Y, and Z, I'll show it to the youths and say, this is what I'm saying. I ain't got time to get into the back and forth from me putting you up on my page your stupid responses because you're not that important. You showed you're not that important. But as far as the ones that I come into contact with, if they mention someone's name, and I know, say at the end of the day, no, he's not that guy. I'm gonna tell him straight, like, don't be disillusioned. That he's not that guy, and that's what I get a lot of. That's what I get a lot of fakery.
But don't worry, we're not going to bait them up because I know they're still going to get at you. They're just taking their time. You get me?
That's the hope. Still.
But let's get into that Instagram message again. In that, you also said that today's going to be a busy day. You're out here. You're going into offices and you're going to get names.
Yeah.
Now tell us how that went down. What offices were you going into and what names were you looking to get?
That was mad because I got a message back from someone there, and they turned around and they sent me a long message and said, "Hey, you said that you was going into offices and you was going to get names. Where is it?" You know, that it was only then that I realised. I was like, yeah, I did go into the offices and get the names and that, but I just didn't bother to repost it. I'll tell you the reason why. Was because obviously when you turn up like that, people ain't used to that. People are used to complain through emails. I don't know that side of things, so I work with people that can do that and are doing that for me. But me personally, I'm gonna come and see you in person and say, yo, what's good? So that being the case, when I did approach some people, they made so many promises. I said, cool. I'm not gonna turn around and, for instance, I'm not gonna put Andrew Brown. I'm not gonna blast him just like that and say, okay, then cool. I came down to his office and Andrew Brown said to me, even though it was my colleague in Optivo, who we had an unofficial chat with, that turned around and told Optivo that you was in the building, even though first and foremost, Anthea wasn't even supposed to be in the unofficial meeting with a squatter in the first place. She still turned around and managed to go back and tell her superiors that she was in this unofficial meeting and then relayed back to me. After her words was, I'm not going to grass you up. Like, the lady even went through to trying to gain my trust and telling me about her personal life, her grievances, misfortunes. And I said, cool, innit? Like, I couldn't see someone going that far, but I've seen worse. Do you know what I mean? To gain someone's trust and whatnot. Either way, that's what they did. I went and saw Andrew Brown. So Andrew Brown, the interim head of the BME forum down in CROYDON. He says he's with Giants Youth Services, walking with Giants. He's with the youths. He's with Marlon Sampson, 110%. So I'm saying, don't brand him, don't say nothing bad about him, give him the opportunity and the time to make good on what he said. That's what he's told us. So that was the first office that I went to. After that was down to Optivo. Couldn't speak to no one there, but got the message back that they're still in the middle of talking, which means they're still in the middle of processing the eviction notice. And that's why I Anthea down at Optivo. The saddest thing about that is that she was one of the ladies. It's just how things happen, it's crazy. She was one of the people who used to be in this building before. They were in this building before, and they know the boys that I'm working with. They know that some of them have been run down, shot at, stabbed, definitely stabbed, the boys who they've worked with around here. They know that, and all of that happened after they vacated the building, didn't leave a crumb inside the building when they left, totally gutted the thing, vacated the building and left it vacant for 4 years.
In my personal experiences, I feel like this youth club has actually opened up many opportunities for me. I come here, fix up bikes, and I generally do have fun here. And it is a great opportunity for other kids like me. Just come here, have fun, chill out. And like if you need to release some stress, you can come here and you'll forget about everything because you're having fun here. And it is genuinely a good opportunity to be here. And I'm glad that it's currently still open.
Yeah, how's it been for you reacting with the other kids that are down here?
In my experiences, it's been perfectly fine, 100%. I interact well with everyone, I get along well with everyone, and it's just cushy, it's perfect.
Yeah, and what do you feel about the fact that they're trying to close the doors?
In my honest opinion, it's horrible. Like, it's just taking away opportunities from kids, and like, it's not good at all. Like, honestly, it should be kept open, 100%.
So let's get back to that Insta message again. You told people to at the mayor, Mr. Khan. So tell us, what would you want to say to the mayor? What would you want him to know about the situation, what's going on right now with you and the youth club that you're trying hard to keep alive?
I'd say to the mayor, I'd say, bro, that I don't believe in the system. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm not going to say one thing here and say another thing. I don't believe in the system. But I'm saying, you're saying that you're trying, that you're fighting this problem and so on. I don't see it. But if you are, if you want to be seen to do it at least, make the call. Tell them to lie the building. It's not going to benefit no one. It's going to harm the community. Like I said, there was a death a year ago and that rocked the whole ends. When I say that rocked the whole ends, and that wasn't even necessarily a surprising death because this boy wasn't violent, he wasn't spiteful, but he was on the road with nothing to do, just like many others. So that shouldn't have come as a surprise that he died, or one of that circle died. And for an MP like Sarah Jones or someone to get up in Parliament and mention this person by name, I'm saying it's nothing but fake that in the same area you're going to close down a youth centre which is engaging with the same boys, which is still mediating that same issue, the issue that caused that and the issues that are still to come after that as well. I'm saying do something. You're the mayor of London. I'm saying on top of that as well, like I say to you, my petition's here. My petition's right here. Like they said to me, get a petition in order. I said to them, we've been had a petition. These are signatures that boys went out and got themselves. Like it's forms, like it's sheets on sheets and sheets of petitions. Like you're seeing it. This is like 3 days worth of petitions or something. There's more down at my feet as well. My point is that we're living in a democracy. This is what the people have said. The people have spoken, the people of the community, the people of the wider community, shopkeepers, everybody. Like, stop saying behind closed doors that, Marlon, I'm supporting you. Support me openly, innit? This is the thing. And you're not supporting me, you know. Because, like you said, like, I've never received no money for this. This is out of my pocket. Like, the last thing I did that's funded some stuff, I sold a motorcycle and that went right back into the place again. I got another bike, the bike I'll show you downstairs, it was in the Rough Riders video. That there is gonna, that there, as soon as that gets sold, that there's gonna bring the towers right in.
Yeah.
I feel like, this is what it just say it for me. So, obviously support me in what I'm doing, but this is for the youths. For the youths, I don't get a bean out of this.
Yeah.
All I do is put in.
Okay, let's get into getting your message out there. Obviously, it's a numbers game. Let's all be real.
Oh, yeah.
If you ain't got numbers following you, numbers listening to you, no one cares what we're saying. If we got 100, 200 people on our Instagram, then you got people with 200,000. They bypass us.
Of course.
So tell me, how you are willing to get the real message out there, and what means have you got to do that?
The hardest TV. The hardest TV. You know that Fidel Castro? He said, you know, the quote, his famous quote, he said something along the lines of, he said if he could do it all over again, when he went back to take over Cuba, he said if I could do it all over again, rather than going with 70 or 74 good men, he said he would have just gone through with a handful of serious men or the right men. So like I'm saying, innit, like the artist TV, like real recognises real. The people that are actually tuned in, I know that it's the real people. Do you get what I'm saying? You could have said to me, okay, then BBC or someone like that's gonna come and they're gonna interview you. That don't mean nothing to me. That don't mean, for the sake of the youths, I'll try anything within limits. Do you get where I'm coming from? So I'll go on BBC for the sake of the youths because I've always got that hope that there might be that person that sees it for their sake that can actually turn around and actually help them out and whatnot. But at the same time as well, I'm more happy. I'm more optimistic, I'm more hopeful, I'm more faithful in the fact that the Artist TV, the right people are going to see it, because it's real people that are going to tune in, otherwise you ain't going to want to watch it.
Respect for that, big man. Let's get on to now, apart from the youth club, like we know you're going in hard with the youth club, what else would you want to do with helping the youths understand what's real and what's not?
A lot of them is just, for instance, look at my life, look at the life of the people around you. A lot of the boys that come through, they come into contact with my son, because he's the same age group as them as well, so they know him either from the area or just the fact that they're helping out. And they know his story, they know my story. Bad choices, on top of that as well, lead to bad outcomes. That's the truth of the matter, in that it's so far back now, I couldn't tell you how much clout I had when I was younger, but I know I must have had some, because people remember me from then. But I had a piece, I wouldn't say it was the most, but it ain't done nothing for me. It ain't done nothing for me now. The most helpful one of the man them, out of all of the man them, to be honest with you, is when I say helpful, is, and I'll always be funny, because he's older than me, but I call him my big brethren, I call him Superstar Quasi, he's my brethren. He was one of him and there's people like Dwayne Sinclair, these people at my age group, but at the same time they done their own thing. And the reason why I respect these men so much, and I ask them if they can come through and talk to these boys, is because they done their own thing in the midst of the peer pressure. So, you know, as a man, sometimes I know at my age they got that little thing where it's that you wasn't the one that went to prison. People wasn't screaming off the rooftops, rah, he's out, or did you hear them man, the bus case, or rah, they're in the paper, rah, them man are too mad, they need to calm down. Like, you wasn't that guy, so it feels a little funny. Like, but I'm telling you, brother, a million times more important than all of us, because all we did was went with the tide of things. Do you get where I'm coming from? We went with the tide of things. Some of us, we wasn't in a position or a place or stable enough to kind of go against the grain. But them man there, and why I respect them is because they're not people who wasn't around it. They were around it and still managed to stand their ground and not get caught up in it to that degree. That's the same man that I had to call when I was getting starved in Whitemore and say to some of these people, yo, get hold of sort of my cousin Dean. I had to call these people and say to them, send me in some money, because these people are starving me. I need to be able, those kitchens there, I need to be able to cook my own food. Look now they're stopping me from being able to spend my own money. Send the money over to my man, and please, so that he can buy my food so that I can eat something, because right now, if I ain't there, they found a way to shut that down. But these people have always helped the man, and these men have come home on their face, these men have lined up jobs for them. These are the same people you ask if they can write you a reference for something. You can write a reference for their son because he needs to go to work there. These are the men that I look at as examples.
What do you feel about the youth club? What's the youth club done for you?
It's open opportunities for me. So I obviously do music, and this took me a long way.
So what do you feel about the fact that they're trying to close down the youth club?
Yeah, it's pissed. It's not good. No.
So let's go on to now, if the worst scenario happened and they did close the doors on you, what are you going to do? Are you going to give up on the kids, or are you going to go on and still try and help the kids? What's going to happen regards that?
Like I said from before, that if they do that, then I'm just going to do what I do. Obviously, you got to remember that one of my posts I put up, I said, walking with giants hasn't just stepped up on the scene, we are the scene. Like, and I didn't mean it as in we control everything. What I meant is that, you know, everybody wants to see change on the road. I'm an example of change on the road, because I've been out here, I'm even 35 years old, don't stop me from being out here. That puts me even more of a, like, it's easier for me to make 5 bills on the road now than it was when I was a kid. I can sit down and make 5 bills off of my phone.
Yeah.
Where just telling somebody to phone someone, rather than when I was a kid, I would have really had to put work in out there to make a £500. So it's not because of my age where I've took a step back, it's because I realise. So everyone keeps talking about they want to see change, well then what you need is, you need the person at the top. You need key figures to change their outlook on things, and then to kind of, at the same time as well, to show change to the youngers as well. Because since I've started doing this, I've been an example to boys that are younger than me. Or they're young men, but I call them boys, young men. I've been an example to them. I've seen some of them come and say, Rod, you know what? The minute they get into a problem with their line or whatever it is they're doing, or their business partner on the roadside, they had a little disagreement. They don't bother to say, right, it means I need to go harder. They come and say, do you know what? I'm saying, fuck you. I'm saying, I also want to come and do what you do. And I say, well, that's a good look that you're saying that, but I see other talents in you as well. So let's look at what else you can do. Do you get what I mean? So I'm saying, this is the road healing itself from within. You're saying you want to see change. There's change right here.
What would be going on in your life if you never had the youth club to come down to?
You'd be rolling around with the wrong crowd and doing dumbness.
So is it ideal for them to keep the doors open?
Yeah, 100.
If I couldn't come here, I'd most likely just like be on the streets getting up to mischief. Like, that's how it is.
I'd be doing a lot of things. I'd either be staying home, just playing on my PlayStation, doing nothing with my life, or I'd be out selling drugs or stuff like that.
Well, you got to tell them about the fact that they're trying to close this down.
I don't agree with them closing it down, because the person who started this, Marlon, he took the money out of his own pocket. He's got no funding for this, and at one time this state was running rampant with the youth, they're running wild all over the place, and he's giving them something, he's giving them direction, he's giving them purpose, he's giving them meaning that there's more to life than just running up and down the street, do something, and he's helped them to do something. Motorbike projects, boxing, just giving them mentoring what the children need. And right now I'm hearing that they want to close this place. For what? There's no reason to close this place when the children are safe. They are safe, we know where they are. We're keeping an eye out for them. They've got computers to do, can play on computers. They're getting on with each other, treating each other with respect, talking to each other as people, and not feeling threatened. With the knife crime going on in London and what's going on around here, this project is saving a lot of children's lives. So for them to close this would be a travesty, and I'll be the first one to stand up and say, no, this is wrong.